Alrighty, so yeah, I'm doing this video here to do something a little different. First off, I just want to make mention that you should probably read the descriptions in my videos because a lot of the time I'll rewatch my videos and catch like something stupid I said or a mistake that I made that I didn't really mean, and I would like to to let people know that I didn't mean that or something like that, or I meant it in a certain way, or I just fucked up and I said the wrong thing when I meant to say something different. So that happens sometimes because I'm not that great at making these videos. Nobody's perfect, and I don't feel like fucking recording another 10 or 15-minute video just because of one stupid fucking mistake. So just read my descriptions, that helps clear up a lot of things that you would disagree with in the videos because, nobody's perfect. Anyway, so in this video I want to do something a little different. I want to be a little more positive about the Halo games. I want to talk about why the Bungie Halo games are so great. And, of course in my other video I talked about why the 343 Halo games are not so great. And so yeah, I'm basically going to cover Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo ODST, and Halo Reach. Now, I'll start with ODST, just because I want to get that one out of the way, because it's not a great game. It's a decent game, I guess. It's okay. It's good in certain ways, but it's not a great game. I mean, it's an overpriced expansion without matchmaking, and that's what hurts it so much. But other than that, it's pretty damn good. You got to admit, you had a great time playing Lost Platoon and kicking some ass against brute dumbasses with the choppers and shit like that. That was great. But, the game is still launched at $60, which was fucked up, We can't deny that that's how it went down. And that was bullshit. The game should have been like, I don't know, $20, $30, $40. But 60, that's like, whoa. Like, it's just an expansion, dude, you know what I mean? I don't remember, like, StarCraft Brood War costing nearly that much, But, I don't know. A lot of people, they would argue that it was overpriced. Okay, maybe the StarCraft Brood War thing wasn't a great analogy, but whatever, you know what I mean. It's kind of overpriced. I mean, to me, I was such a big Halo fan, especially at the time. I was, like, super stoked that we were getting a survival-type mode for a Halo game, and it wasn't going to be dumb like Call of Duty Nazi Zombies, where you just shoot at a bunch of retarded zombies. Like, the enemies are actually smart, and they shoot back at you with guns, so it was definitely more challenging than Nazi Zombies, especially, if you play on harder difficulties and manipulate the settings a little bit. So, yeah, I was really stoked about ODST's firefight mode. So, to me, it was totally worth paying the $60 at the time, but I can understand that, like, a lot of people, they thought it was overpriced, and I can't disagree. It was overpriced. I mean, like I said, this is an expansion to Halo 3. It's not really its own unique game. So, ODST, I say it's about an average/good game for the most part, but it's not a great Halo game. And so yeah, now let's talk about Halo 1. That game pretty much changed things forever for console shooters and pretty much shooting games in general. I mean, you got to remember, when the Xbox first launched, it was a completely new console, and pretty much everybody thought it was fucking retarded looking, and nobody was really that interested in it. People saw the controller, the fat fucking controller that they first implemented, and that thing was atrociously large. I mean, you could get used to it, especially a guy like me, because I got big fucking hands, but it was kind of like bulky and odd looking, and eventually, of course, they made controllers a lot smaller, so that was good. But yeah, anyway, a lot of people didn't have much confidence in the console. I mean, we had Sega stuff, we had Nintendo stuff, we had PlayStation stuff, and then all of a sudden, fucking Xbox? Really? What the fuck? Microsoft is doing a console? Goddamn, we already have enough consoles. So a lot of people were, not, didn't have much confidence in the console. But because Halo came out for it. Halo is a really great game, Halo 1, because it introduced a physics engine that we've never really seen before in gaming, intelligent enemy AI at a level of intelligence that we've never really seen before in gaming. Its co-op mode for the split-screen co-op campaign was pretty much the best co-op campaign ever done in video game history, or at least at the time. I mean, it was really good. Like, the whole drive a warthog while your co-op buddy uses the machine gun in the back, you know, like, you could do that and it would work. It would be like a good idea, and you could abuse strategies like that to overcome your enemies. And yeah, it was just like really new shit at the time. Shooters really weren't very good at doing that kind of a thing in the past, and shooters sometimes wouldn't even have like vehicle combat, for example. Like, that's another thing. Halo introduced vehicle combat into shooting games, and they did it really well. Like, it fucking works really good. Like, Call of Duty still hasn't done like vehicle combat very well. What the fuck is their problem? Why are they so late to this party? Anyway, but yeah, Halo 1, great game. Also, it did the LAN parties. Everybody loved the LAN parties. If you ever went to one of these LAN parties back in the day, you had some fun. Even if you got your ass kicked, like, it was great. You know, everybody was hanging out together and partying, drinking, eating beef jerky, whatever, you know. Like, people were having a good time back then with the local area network. So, you know, that was really cool. That was really cool stuff. And, of course, the story was not a bad story. It was a decent sci-fi story with Master Chief and Cortana going to the ring world to kick some ass. Yeah, you know, it was really not bad. I mean, the story is, you know, inspired heavily from the movie Aliens, made in 1986, and that was just really fucking badass. And then we got Halo 2, which is also a great game because a lot like Halo 1 being, well, Halo 1, like I said, it really helped change gaming forever, and Halo 2 is no exception. It also helped change gaming forever, and by that I mean Halo 2, it made online console shooting games popular. Like, it was such a good online console shooting game, especially at the time, that people were all of a sudden really into those types of games. I mean, fucking Call of Duty probably wouldn't even be as popular as it is, or was, if it weren't for a game like Halo 2 setting the floor for online console shooters. I mean, so Halo 2 was a great online game. It wasn't perfect, you know, of course. It was one of the first of its kind for online console shooters, so of course it had a lot of problems, you know, like too many glitches and stuff like that, and the servers weren't that great, and it was kind of a noob-friendly game. Like, the auto-aim was a lot more sensitive than Halo 1, and there were a lot of cheaters, and the rank system was fucked up. Like you could win like 10 games in a row and never rank up, and then you could lose one game, and then you would D-rank, and you would be like, fuck this game, you know. So that wasn't that great, but you still got to give it up to Halo 2 for being great in the sense that it fucking made online console games, online console shooting games popular. It really did. And then we got Halo 3, which is like the big epic finale conclusion to the trilogy, and it introduced Forge. It introduced theater mode. It introduced the file sharing system, you know, saving pictures and stuff. And, of course, the multiplayer, it basically took Halo 2 and made it better in pretty much every way. The only thing about Halo 3 that's not as good as Halo 2, really, is the multiplayer maps aren't as memorable as the Halo 2 multiplayer maps, for the most part. I guess you could argue otherwise, but that's how I feel. I mean, fuck Snowbound, fuck Isolation, fuck Epitaph. Like, those maps suck, for the most part. But, you know, Halo 3 has some decent ones, like Guardian, you know. And with the DLC, they remade Lockout with Blackout, so that's not bad. And of course, the game has Forge, so if you really don't like the maps, there were plenty of decent Forge maps you could fuck around with. So that was pretty cool about Halo 3. And yeah, that was a big deal. It was like the most popular Xbox 360 online game of all time. So that game's pretty great in that regard. And then there's Halo Reach, and that game is great because it has so much fucking content. Like, there is so much content in Halo Reach. Like, you got Forge, you got Firefight, you got armor customization, you got campaign, you got multiplayer, you got all these new multiplayer modes, and all this stuff is, you can manipulate it to a very detailed and precise degree, so you can kind of form the game to make it so that it plays to your liking very easily. There's something for everybody in Halo Reach. I mean, if you're a fan of shooting games, there is definitely something in this game that you will love. So that's what's awesome about this game. It kind of caters to every type of shooting game player, really. Well, maybe not the Call of Duty Twitch shooter type of crowd, but, you know, those games pretty much suck for the most part compared to Halo, so... Well, not anymore. I mean, now we got Halo 5 and Halo 4, which are pretty much trying to be Call of Duty, so that sucks. But the Bungie Halo games, on the other hand, no, they're not doing that stupid shit. So that's awesome. So yeah, that pretty much covers why Halo 1, 2, 3, and 4 are great games, and how ODST, you know, suffers from a few problems, but that game's not great, but it's good enough, you know, like it's enjoyable. Especially if you have some friends to play the Lost Platoon with in. That's always really awesome. Everybody had a great time there. But yeah, that pretty much covers it. So that's the end of this video. Peace.